This is the Open Division Season 3 Pacific, and these are the official games on the Overwatch ZHTW channel. So whatever they're broadcasting, I am as well. I'm in the same lobby, I am the same boat, and we are gonna start things off into Gardens in the meantime. So here for the blue team, we do see the squad from Singapore, GE's finest, Pointbreak. We're gonna have Infamous here on the Zenyatta, Sachok on the Winston, Nomad on the Diva, Stephanie on the Lucio, Sog CH on the Sombra, and Lorax on the Tracer. And on the other hand, it's gonna be the Japanese squads, V3.Fortuna. I think you guys have heard of them. It's gonna be Minto here on the Lucio, gonna go for the quick little speed boost and switch over to the Mercy instead. We're gonna have Lapin on the Fire as well. Concussive shot comes out, and it's gonna be a Wrecking Ball jump in there from Sachok, just allowing the Winston to actually get into a stage stop for the time being. A few hits there going the way on to Stephanie, and here comes Sog2H out in the sky, getting a shot out. Doesn't really get much, so it's gonna be an aerial battle here between the two Pharmacies for the time being. Loraxo does get a pick off onto the Sombra for V3.Fortuna. I can't even say that name for now, but Minto does get the res there onto the Sombra. Pointbreak going for the capture point, but it's gonna be a good test now from the Moira. Gonna use the Fave, and Luna gonna go into the moon once again. Pulse bomb is available. Perfect stick there from Lorax. A beautiful 180 to get the shot out. In the meantime, Stephanie just trying to keep everyone topped up. Has the Valkyrie, will pop it into this fight quite early in this game actually, as Galaxy now gets a pick off onto 2. In the meantime, on the point, self-destruct comes out now from Pointbreak side. Gets absolutely nothing. Oh, it's gonna be from V3.Fortuna rather. And now V3.Fortuna getting the point back. Good flip right there. 21% for Pointbreak for the time being. So for this English broadcast, I will be having a cast of co-casters in the near future. I was supposed to have one, but he's a no-show right now. In the and EMP comes out now from the Sombra. Just trying to turn out the lights here onto Pointbreak. Good follow-up there from V3.Fortuna, and Sog2H with a Rocket Barrage out of desperation. Here comes the Wrecking Ball, however, and the Diva gonna jump in. Lorax now on the retreat, and Pointbreak actually forced back for the time being. Self-destruct now is available here for Nomad. Can easily toss it out into the sky. Infamous and Sachok ready with their ultimates as well, as Pointbreak will want to try to push in. On the other hand, Alive dropping the mines, getting the slam there onto Nomad as well. Infamous though gonna push in with the Transcendence. Self-destruct coming out once again from Galaxy. This time it hits absolutely nothing. It's in another universe instead. Sog2H however takes down his own counterpart. V3.Fortuna still with the point. Zog now with a kill onto 2. Going for Minto, needs to get the shot, but the wall is in the way, and Lapin with a Rocket Barrage. Gonna be a jump there from Sachok to try and tap this one out, but Pointbreak losing a bunch of members. Only 3 of them are still alive. They can still get the flip, but Alive right now taking care of the point. It's gonna be a tank tool here between Pointbreak and V3.Fortuna. Mines come out once again, and Alive just delaying as much as he can for the time being. An EP now comes out, disabling Pointbreak and their abilities. Lapin swooping in for the kills, gets 2 before getting taken down by his counterpart. Sog2H now taking care of the mines, being the minesweeper that every nation needs. The Divas though just having a quick little duel, being the shooting stars that they need. Here comes a Moira now from Luna, trying to keep Galaxy topped up in the mech, but it's gonna be D-Mech. Rocket Barrage now available here for Sog2H. Oh, perfect hack there from the Sombra. In the meantime, Luna tossing out the Bio Orb. It looks like V3.Fortuna still in control of this fight. We have a Valkyrie right now from Minto to keep everyone topped up onto the Jap squad. And now it's going to be 2 kills going the way of V3.Fortuna. Overtime there, ticking so heavily in the favor of V3.Fortuna, and Pointbreak just trying to stagger into this. The self-destruct now available here for Nomad, but he's not gonna get it out due to the hack there from the Sombra. Overtime so close. Can Pointbreak get back into the fight? We have Sog2H right now playing the Genji, just hopping it around. Instead, will lose the access onto those cybernetics, gets taken down. Another set of kills there going the way of the Japanese squad. It's gonna be Sachok here cornered. He gets the Primal Rage out. Solid staggers here from the Pointbreak squad, but it might be a little too late. Sachok now jumping off the point, and it's gonna be V3.Fortuna with the first kill. Oh, Nomad with a triple at the end, however. So Pointbreak right there just struggling to actually take control of the point back, as we are now gonna move into Night Market next. No real switches either for either squad so far, except now Sog moving on to the Sombra. We have Lorax gonna play the Pharah. And just looking at this cute little piggy. Whoa. These options here in Night Market, very tempting actually. Speaking of tempting, we have the Lucio Speed Boost gonna come out here from both squads, and it's gonna be V3.Fortuna sticking on with the DJ. Gonna go straight on the point with a triple tank Lucio Moira composition. They have the Sombra to try and go for the disable play, as well as the squad of Pointbreak. They're gonna be staying outside. Lorax just peeking in the window, just trying to give a quick little delivery of rockets onto the squad of the Japanese. And here comes Lorax right now, getting some shots out. Oh, perfect hack there, grounding the Pharah, and Galaxy swooping in for the kill. Nomad gets the mech. 2 kills going the way of V3.Fortuna so far. So forced to back off. Infamous on his perch, just getting some shots out. Not really gonna work out for the time being. 5% right now here for the V3.Fortuna squad, and looks like Pointbreak will be on the retreat. Sakchuk there being chased down, and Infamous playing with fire right here. Very dangerous for the Zenyatta if he actually gets dove on here by Galaxy, as well as by the Sombra here on the side of V3.Fortuna. Lorax once again grounded. He must be under some air investigation right now, thanks in part of the red Sombra, and Rocket Barrage now is available here for Lorax. A concussive shot does come out. Rocket Barrage is available. The Pointbreak squad gonna go for a quick little flank in through the windows, as well as applying pressure from the middle line. Here comes the dive in. Rocket Barrage right now. It's gonna be a Transcendence to try and counter the Graviton Surge, but so far so good here for V3.Fortuna. Lurlax so back into the 5. Song 2H ready with the AP. So far off. It's Sachok Primal Rage up, going for some punches. Gets the kill there onto Alive. Not so much of his namesake now. Gonna be Galaxy though, ready with the self-destruct, trying to not get disabled. Oh, Luna getting the kill there onto the Winston. And V3.Fortuna once again with heavy control onto this point. The action going the way of V3.Fortuna even without the Reinhardt in play. Didn't need that shatter, just able to get those kills, just able to stay onto the point. And the healing there from Minsu and Luna keeping everyone topped up. In terms of ult economy, it looks like V3.Fortuna slightly in the lead. We'll have the Coalescence in just a bit. Now, the defending squad onto the point. EMP though comes out from Song 2H. Self-destruct is gonna be there. Gets absolutely nothing. Mintu with the sound barrier to keep his teammates popped up. And that's gonna be a shatter there from Alive. Pointbreak on the floor, losing 2 so far. Song 2H in the corner. That's gonna be 5 kills going the way of V3.Fortuna. And they're just putting on an absolute clinic so far in this map. Just one more short clash here from the Pointbreak squad. They need to go onto the point out of desperation. Can Satchel actually make it? Graviton Surge is going to be there to seal the deal. Can anyone get past them? Looks like it's too late there for Lorax. V3.Fortuna taking the win 2-0.
Play of the game.
Just that V3.Fortuna squad so good with this play, even with the ZMP coming out their way. Just V3.Fortuna able to take it back, and a perfect display there from the Japanese squad taking the first point. So John, what do you know about these two teams?
Pointbreak has been looking really strong recently. I actually sat in their scrim yesterday, and while I can't say, you know, because scrim stuff, you can't say who they're playing against, you can't say how well they did, but I can tell you that Pointbreak this season is looking far stronger than ever before. Yeah, I think this match, you're gonna see some really great mechanical play from the side of both teams.
Yeah, but V3.Fortuna though playing an absolute clinic in that first game, so we'll see if John has scouted Pointbreak perfectly. We do have the dive composition here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. I'm your host here, Daks, and joining me is JohnGalt. We're back, guys. We're back in this, and we are gonna be your English Open Division broadcasters for today. So here comes the push in here from V3.Fortuna. Gonna be running the GOATS comp, and we'll just walk into the car wash. But Song 2H already going for the hack, just trying to be a distraction and working on taking down that Moira.
See you later.
And I can't help but think that Pointbreak has that composition that isn't so effective here, because they're running a Widowmaker and a Sombra against a GOATS comp. So you can see the HP of V3.Fortuna, they're not going down at all. They're all very healthy, they're not going down, they're probably still being pushed.
Lorax actually struggling to get the sightlines in. Infamous though, going for some Discord play, just trying to do enough damage. Infrasight is already out here for Lorax, which is unfortunate because he actually hasn't got a kill till that one onto Luna. The Diva now just flying off. Nomad just trying to apply some pressure, but there's gonna be hook. Doesn't lead to a kill for the time being. An EMP there comes out from SogTH.
And now finally will be V3.Fortuna. The V3.Fortuna is still winning, so even though the EMP, the team that got EMP is the one that ends up winning Infamous with the Transcendence System to keep everyone alive. Stop trying to go for the Rohong. Rohong is hit, but they're now gonna die, and Kronos is just too strong. HP per second is way more than damage that Pointbreak is able to dish out.
Yeah, and Pointbreak having to use the Prime Rage pretty early. V3.Fortuna still into this fight. So close to the point. Look at that. Point 0-0-0. Way too close. Woolhog will come out. Self-destructs are going to be there. And it's going to be V3.Fortuna with the initial capture. And I haven't seen that in forever. 0.00, dude.
Daks, I really think. What do you think? I mean, I do think that Pointbreak will need to swap up here. And we do see the swap out. Little Rex going onto the Pharah. And will this actually work? Because they don't have a Mercy, and I don't think, yeah, they're going to be keeping Stephanie on Anna because he does have the nano boost, which means that this far will be an unpocketed one. Maybe just the healing off from the Zenyatta.
Oh, Sleep Dart there connecting onto the Road Dog. Alive though with the pick off onto Sachok, and now Lorax falling. It's gonna be Nomad actually nano boosted up, just trying to keep him topped up, and the nano boost is actually one of those skills that can turn the tide in your favor. Self-destruct now available, and it's gonna be V3.Fortuna on the retreat. Solid play there from Stephanie, and I would say the Ana there is for the buy grenade, and of course they had that nano boost. They just didn't want to waste it. Such a tide turner in this meta.
This is one of the problems if you run a Goats comp in Watchpoint Gibraltar. You don't have access to the high ground that easily. So even if you go for a shatter, even if you shatter 2 players, do you really have any follow-up? The high ground easily here is Diva. Full stop.
Exactly, it's gonna be Galaxy pretty much all alone unless V3.Fortuna does actually focus on to the second floor. Alive right now upstairs, so it's gonna be a full commit here from Lepin, and he takes down Influence with the shield bash. Up the shock though in the backline, will it lead to any kills? It's gonna be Nomad taking down Alive, and we have Sog with the EMP gonna back off into the Sunset Translocator to get up on top, and Pointbreak with this high ground defense holding so far.
Rex is going to lose the 1-on-1 to Lunar. Lunar is going to right click on Lirex. Lirex missed 1 or 2 rockets, and that's it. Lirex is going to go down for the fight, and Pointbreak is going to hold this point once again.
They're even staggering Galaxy right here, and the Baby Diva staying alive and has the call mech. I don't know if Pointbreak actually knew V3.Fortuna playing it smart. Galaxy not calling the mech early enough. Now we have the rally in. They're gonna march on through to the second floor. Here comes the Japanese squad. Gonna move into the hangar. Sachok though up on top, keeping a small little perch there. Has the jumps available, has the primal rage. We have Galaxy going for the push, and it's gonna be a self-destruct. Infamous though, Transcendence onto the point. Oh, Little Rock still falling. Where is he positioned in a spot there for the Diva to get him to take down onto him? The Rodog though can't keep himself topped up. Here comes the pin, and Alive charging onto the wall, but this looks like it might be their death. Stephanie though being bounced around. The Ana gets a quick little fire strike to the face.
And look at the amount of ultimates that Pointbreak has. They still have so much. Anyway, they're going to go for the shatter, and Sachok does go down, but numerical advantage is going to mean that Pointbreak is going to clear up this fight fast and efficiently. So let's look at ultimate charge on the side of Pointbreak. They have 5 ultimates, so even though Goats already push Pointbreak 2-3 times, Pointbreak has held an ultimate advantage throughout these 2-3 fights. So this is definitely the time to switch. In fact, I had hoped that V3.Fortuna had switched from their Goats comp a lot earlier. Anyway, Nomad's going to pick up the Sombra from V3.Fortuna, and that's going to stagger their push once again.
I completely agree there with John. The moment the fire actually came out, and how Pointbreak actually decided to go for the what do you call it? This airplane defense here on the hangar area. They should have actually gone for a dive to try and go for the good test. Now they have the Genji, they have the Yana, so maybe we'll see a Nano Beam play. They also have the dive, and speaking of the dive, it's gonna be the tanks there clashing onto that plane. Primal is now popped up by Sachok. Looks like he doesn't want to do any piloting. He's gonna be the one just jumping around instead and squishes the red Sombra. Self-destruct up on top. Doesn't really get much. We now have Lapin just trying to get away from the Angry Monkey, but it's gonna be a really good pocket there from Luna.
So Pointbreak is going to be pilling, but Nomad pushing to try to contest the payload. Payload is still not quite moving because Nomad is in position. But that's going to mean the Nomad... Anyway, oh, the sleep on Alive! And Alive stays alive for now. Galaxy gets hacked, trying to push for Nomad. Nomad drops low. But stays alive.
Yeah, a two for two pick so far, but V3.Fortuna now turning it into the favor. Self-destructor coming out from Galaxy before he does die. Primary is available, and oh, that EMP! It's gonna be now the Fire being hunted by the Winston. Lunar gets taken down. Sachok falls as well. Nova now in the corner. This looks like it's gonna be a clean push in here by V3.Fortuna. They're gonna reach that second checkpoint, but it was one full of difficulty and adversity.
I kind of think that Lil Rex here, the far pick will need the Mercy now, because this time V3.Fortuna no longer has a good comp. Everyone can hit Lil Rex now. You can have Diva flying up to Lil Rex, and I don't think the upper pummeling is going to be enough to keep him alive through this. So anyway, we'll see the Stephanie changing from Anna to Mercy right now, and I really like this pick. Mercy and Zen is still one of the strongest support in the current meta, even though Anna, we do see Anna a little bit more now, but I think in Watchpoint Gibraltar, Mercy is still king.
I think Mercy is king in first and third. I think I would say that Stephanie's staying on that Anna. They're a little more comfy with playing it in the hangar area, especially with the vertical limit and everything, as well as bio-grenade potential. And you saw a while ago, the Red Sombra going for a pick, but gets hacked up. Instead, self-destruct in the back, gets nothing but Lapin jumping into a rocket. So Galaxy now taking down Sachok. In the meantime, we have the tanks clashing, and Alive now jumping into the back, trying to get rid of Stephanie, but Sog is going to be on bodyguard duty, and now 2 up to 4 ultimates will be ready here for Pointbreak in their next fight.
Lil Rex has been holding the rocket barrage for the last 2 fights, but he hasn't seen a need to use it yet. So if you are V3.Fortuna, that's the ultimate you want to look at. So even though they have Transcendent, even though they have Blade, none of this can break through a good rocket barrage right on top of their head. So one thing I'd like to say is, will they attempt a dry push? Because I really don't think they have the time. I think both teams will burn all the ultimates in the next 10 seconds, and we'll see the winner of the fight.
It's gonna be an EMP to rule it all, but Lapin going for the blade instead, getting the slash there onto Stephanie. Lil in the backline with the rocket barrage, blows himself up. Saxon though now with a takedown onto Galaxy as the Winston just causing some chaos in the backline, putting Minsu to the corner. Sachok now just staying on to this point. The payload now trying to move some progress, but it's gonna be the Winston blocking its path for the time being. 5 seconds remaining here for V3.Fortuna. Bio-grenade now onto Sachok, no one protecting, but here comes the EMP, and here comes the push. Transcendence here from both Zenyatta's, and the self-destruct now is available here for the V3.Fortuna side.
The bomb's gonna come up from Galaxy here. He's gonna get 2 kills in famous, and Stephanie is going to go down, and that's gonna be enough. How can this not be enough? The push is gonna continue, and Pointbreak, they can't do anything. This Lil Rex trying to kill him alive, but alive. Just like his namesake, staying alive, just getting pocketed by Minsu, and no one's contesting the Anna, so Anna's just safe to be back, killing everyone, and V3.Fortuna will get the push.
Perfect self-destruct right there from Galaxy, getting it into the backline. And I would say V3.Fortuna clutching that out at the end. Honestly, stubbornness was their folly in that whole round, just staying on that goat way too long. But when the going went tough, it was perfect EAPs, perfect self-destructs, and even that Dragon Blade in the backline, swinging the game in the favor of the Japanese squad.
Well, Daks, I can't help but think that the only way they could have made it better was if they switched earlier. Because they spent 2 minutes trying to attack with goats, right? And nothing came out of it. But if they had swapped earlier, within maybe the first minute, they might have finished this push with a minute to spare. And maybe they have 2 minutes to push the subsequent round. I mean, assuming that Pointbreak gets the same push and completes the point.
I do agree with your sentiments. Sometimes, guys, you really need to switch out when you are hard countered in that manner. So I think the layout there is updated. We have John right here co-casting with me all the way from the lovely nation of Singapore. So yeah, we're just trying to bring the C community together in with these broadcasts, and there has been this demand for the Chinese broadcasted games to be in English VODs as well, and we've been able to do so, talking with Blizzard and just having a community feel to it. Of course, it's not gonna have the same production value as the Chinese stream, but we'll try anyway. Anyway, Pointbreak right now. Yeah, go ahead. What are you saying?
Yeah, it looks like V3 it might be playing a Hammond. I mean, what do you think of Hammond on this map?
Hammond is actually pretty solid in first. Like, if you can get the choke in car wash, mines are absolutely deadly. And of course, just moving around here, just look at the map. It looks like it can be a hamster's playground. You go for the triple dive. It's gonna be a 3 tank, 3 support lineup here for the defense actually. So this tells me they're gonna just try to fight this onto maybe car wash or onto as they come up. In the meantime, Pointbreak trying to take control of the top floor.
One thing I can say for sure, V3 really likes their goats. So no matter what comp they play, no matter where they play attack, defense, they play multiple tanks, multiple support, and this time with a Hammond over a Reinhardt. So they do, technically they have two main tanks, we call Hammond as a main tank right now, and we will see the stock coming out soon from V3.
It's gonna be up to Lunar actually. I think Luna now is their highest damage potential. In the meantime, Alive causing chaos, but Sog taking down Luna in return. There's gonna be the res now to put the Zenyatta back into the fight, but the Winston of V3.Fortuna getting taken down, and Sachok with the win on his own counterpart. Look at this Sog taking control of the balconies, just being there. And in the meantime, it's gonna be Lapin just being the bouncer here for the Zenyatta, not allowing the Genji to get into the fight. Here comes the contest right now from the side of V3.Fortuna. And now Self-Destruct is available here for Pointbreak. Oh, Song gets the Dragon Blade out, gets the kill onto one, going for a Sufumer status. It's going to be Zenyatta getting his beads cut. Res comes out there from Mintu, but it's way too late. The Mercy has to resurrect himself into spawn instead. And it's going to be Stagger now here until Alive. Can Alive get away by the skin of his teeth? Yes, he is.
So the difference between running a Reinhardt goats, the traditional goats, and running this kind of goats is that do you truly have any damage? Because Hammond doesn't have much damage, Winston doesn't have much damage, so when you dive at a target, you actually have enough damage to push in the numbers for a kill. But if you have a Ryan and a D.Va and a Zard, that's different. Now, all your tanks can do the amount of damage required to push that single individual target. Anyway, the payload will be pushing here uncontested throughout the first half of Gibraltar, which is a very weird strategy coming out from V3.Fortuna, because generally you get two fights in Gibraltar and they're going to take a very late fight here. Alive going into the back, going with the mine, and doesn't quite get anyone.
Dude, did you see that? Info was actually getting pooped up onto the second floor thanks to the mines while in Transcendence form. That is some next level stuff you can do actually with the Zenyatta. But anyway, the clash still going on. Lil Rax now with the pickoff onto Galaxy as he gets D-Meg. And honestly, V3.Fortuna looks like this lineup isn't really working out in their favor. They have switched off the Winston into a Sombra, but that's gonna fall to the hand of Lil Rax. Lapin working on that Dragon Blade as well. And Pointbreak now going for the push, but they are really stopped here by Alive. Self-Destruct though gonna come out from Nomad. It's gonna be a nano boosted Genji here, getting the kill onto D.Va. Shurikens are extremely deadly, and Lapin gets to without the blade in hand. Stephanie forced to go onto the pop part. Gonna be a quick little clash of blades here from the two Genjis, but it's gonna be V3.Fortuna holding. There's a nano boost there actually keeping them into it. Yo.
Lapin is doing so much work, even without the blade, as you say. I believe he got 2 kills and almost killed Sok as well without the blade. So, if they hold the blade right now, that means they potentially can win the second fight, because Infamous doesn't quite have the Transcendence yet. So take a quick fight right now, force the ultimate, and you can still win this fight and hold them for another point.
It's honestly winnable here for both sides, but the EMP gonna be coming into play really soon. Pointbreak might have such a narrow window, and the sleep right there gets reflected, and Sog with the kill. It's now gonna be double blades into the fight. Sog was all the way in the backline, didn't get caught in, but Lapin now with a pickoff onto 2, and a perfect zoning Self-Destruct there from Galaxy, keeping the effectivity there of the Genji Dragon Blade to an absolute minimum. V3.Fortuna gonna win this fight handily.
And if Lapin could kill 2 without his blade, you can be sure that he will kill at least 2 with his blade. So EMP use, blade use, and now Lunar is coming up to another Transcendence. So they're actually cycling Pointbreak in terms of ultimates used. And of course, Alive has his mine, and this place is actually perfect for mine. It's a very small place, a very small holding angle, and mines would cover the whole area very easily. Anyway, Lunar's going to be picking Nomad again, staggering their push once again.
Yeah, so just Nomad there getting picks off. Absolutely unfortunate here for Pointbreak. They're losing so much time in this second point accept, and Infamous now under a lot of pressure. The Sombra forced to translocate though at the end, but in the meantime it's Stephanie popping the Valkyrie to just try and keep Infamous alive, trying to get to his fellow support. So this is gonna be Pointbreak now forcing the push. Lil Rax has switched to the Tracer and has already paid dividends with a kill on to Lapin, but Alive now putting the mines underneath the ramp. This is gonna be 2 kills going the way of the V3.Fortuna squad so far, and now there's gonna be Self-Destruct there from Galaxy. It gets Infamous, the robot gear being blown into smithereens for the time being. Galaxy now gonna go for the fly in. V3.Fortuna taking control for the time being, and that's gonna be another successful defense.
The problem right here is Alive is just staying alive. You look at his outcharge, he used his mind early in the fight and is already up to 65%. Alive, if you look at Alive HP, he was almost never in any danger of dying because they don't have the damage required to push through the front line that is V3.Fortuna between the D.Va and the Hammond. So what I think is, maybe they do need to switch. I'm not sure. The dive might work, but they need to make sure that the abilities are actually well used. If they was going to be taken down.
Yeah, the EMP there just being used onto the Zenyatta. They just want to fight this within a 5v6 advantage and forcing the kill there onto Stephanie as well. So no supports for the time being. More for point break. And Zog gets a quick headshot to the face from the Zenyatta. Nomad getting only a DMech. The Sombra applying so much pressure on this D.Va. And now Nomad forced to back off. That was a terrible fight there going the way of V3.Fortuna so handily.
And things are looking increasingly bleak because Lunar is coming out to yet another Transcendent and Lapin, a Dragon Blade alive with another mine, and these three ultimates together is going to make sure life is going to be very hard for Pointbreak in this fight, and they can't go for a dry push because they only have 20 seconds left. So this fight they have to win or they lose the fight.
Looks like Alive is going to be the opposite of Alive. He's going to fall to the hand of Zog, but now the Sombra getting 2 kills so far in the back line, working on that EMP. The Dragon Blade was used up there by Lapin, and now Nomad getting D-Mech. Looks like Pointbreak now running out of chances here in this fight. Self-Destruct gonna come out. Sachok losing Primal Rage, putting up the shield at the last minute, but gets a fistful of D.Va bullets instead. Infamous switching to Illusion, but it's not gonna be enough. And V3.Fortuna taking a second map.
I mean, the difference between these two teams is that V3.Fortuna was they did swap, right? They did play goats in the start, but they swapped when the going got tough. And for the side of Pointbreak, they did have the chance to swap, but they didn't swap. I think the Sombra choice is a good one. I think Sombra Tracer was a really good counter. Is a really good counter from my experience in the AU scene. Is a really good counter towards Hammond. So I think Sok should have switched to Sombra like way earlier. So he swapped to Sombra. They actually got 1 kill of it, even with an ultimate disadvantage, but ultimately still lose. So if they had swapped far earlier, if they swapped the Genji out, because the Genji is just let me reiterate, if you kept the first point within the first 2 fights. If you go to the second point, you're almost guaranteed the second point because you have so many ultimates. The point is if you don't get it within the first 1-2 fights, then I mean, of course, the reverse is true. Where you feed the enemy team a lot of ultimates and you start getting held. Like the possibility of full hosts start to increase. But what I'm interested in is to see whether either of these teams play goats in attack, because I think both teams have played goats quite a bit in the previous season, and of course V3.Fortuna showing that they are playing goats even in Watchpoint Gibraltar, which makes me think that yeah, it's good. They're probably going to play goats on attack. But what do you think, Daks?
So basically TLDR of what John said, if you win with goats on the first point, you just steamroll into the second. But looks like V3.Fortuna might run something a little different. They have a few DPS heroes queued in, and we'll see what they're gonna actually run. We will have a Wrecking Ball, however, here from Alive, and yeah, just whipping out the Symmetric for no reason. On the other hand, let's talk about the defense. It's gonna be a little more sure. We have an Orisa now here from Pointbreak. That does mean they're gonna try to defend this second floor. Lil Rax going for a few picks here and there, and Pointbreak just gonna transition through that center hole. We do see the Wrecking Ball and the D.Va and triple DPS composition this time from Fortuna. So John, a little off with that Goats pick. It's not gonna be 3 tanks, it's gonna be 3 DPS heroes.
I don't like the 3 DPS hero pick coming out from V3.Fortuna, so he's gonna... They haven't tried to power driver but gets halted down by the Orisa. So great halt there by Zacho. He's gonna open an opportunity for Lil Rex to do his stuff, killing Luna and picking off Mean too.
Yeah, Lil Rax there getting 2 picks so far, and honestly, this looks like V3.Fortuna was expecting a Goats comp from the side of Pointbreak, just running that triple DPS, and we might see some switches right now. Luna going onto the Zenyatta. We might see something a little more standard here on the side of the attack. Lil Rax though, perfect headshot there onto the Tracer who was going onto the point, just scoping in, getting that headshot. Pointbreak with the successful first defense.
You can see the new Sombra really allows you to stay at the back line almost permanently because you don't even need to care. Anyway, he's gonna be shooting Lil Rex. Lil Rex didn't know when Lil Rex will be grappling. So doesn't quite get a kill, but does
Oh,
put
Dragon
point
Blade
pressure.
here though from Lapin. Gets shut down there by Lurax. Good focus fire here from the squad of Pointbreak. And the nano boost onto Legend to keep him alive. That is going to be a legendary Zenyatta here, staying onto this point. And Pointbreak looks like they know how to play on the moon. Holding on to this so far. Going to be a dive in, however, from Galaxy, but it's going to be the Baby Diva being staggered around. A little too deadly though to be kept up. Pointbreak, another successful hold.
But the next fight will be the fight to win for V3.Fortuna, because if you look at the Ultimates right now, they do have EMP. To get off a good EMP, maybe on Legend, and perhaps you will see
No one can
Pointbreak falling to the EMP.
Oh no, but what's this? From Lurax, popping the Infrasight, the #1 counter honestly from any Sobra engagement. Lurax looking for that translocator as well, but so guys, if you are invisible and someone pops the Infrasight, you are gonna get seen. This is gonna be the V3.Fortuna Sombra forced to wait it out. 20 seconds honestly wasted on the time from the side of V3.Fortuna. So G here just try to reset up once again. The Japanese squad waiting for an opportunity to strike.
I think they do need to scout out the Zen, because if you don't get a Zen, even if you EMP, you are still gonna lose. And look at where the Zen is standing, all the way to the back. The Transcendent's gonna come down, gonna be healing everyone and clearing the mines at the same time. So no one's gonna be dying, everyone's gonna be kept alive through the Trance, and they will pop back the point, hoping to make a regroup.
Yeah, Sog2H here ready with the Reptile, however, gonna hop up on top. Just looking for a place to actually safely do this, but the Sombra already getting some shots out alive with the takedown, and V3.Fortuna abandoning the point to actually get the kill onto the Junkrat. We'll see if that pays off, and already they ball over Infamous. In the meantime, the Orisa and the Diva just staying on the point. Sachok now falling. Nomad with the Selfie Shock won't use it. We'll save it for the next engagement because V3.Fortuna already securing this fight.
It's a great play right there by V3.Fortuna, finally capping the point, even though Pointbreak but so many ultimates to try to stop them. So they used the Transcendence, they used everything, and yet they still couldn't make the defense. So anyway, we will see Lunar bringing forward their Transcendence into this fight, and that means that they have a chance, they have an opportunity to win the fight here and now.
Yes, Dragon Blade is available, but Lapin being focused down for the time being. Legend now getting picked off alive, gets countered. Sog2H with the hack and the takedown, but Luna still gonna force this alongside Lapin. They're down the Wrecking Bolt, but they still want to get these kills, and Nomad is the first to fall. Lapin though swinging at there, trying to look for Sog2H. There's gonna be the EMP now from the side of V3.Fortuna. Sog2H getting the health back, and it's gonna be the first tick taken here by the V3.Fortuna squad. Second tick is gonna be there as well. Nomad getting pooped away to the side by Grenade is there. Lurax right now falls so easily, not even getting a chance to go for the recall. Infamous gets pooped over by Minsu, and V3.Fortuna taking the first round 2-0. We'll see if Pointbreak can have a better time.
And Pointbreak defense is looking really fragmented now, because one of the things you can see, you can gauge the strength of a defense is how well they rotate around the enemy team. So when they made the pick and Alive went down, because Alive was the first one to die in the fight, the way that Pointbreak rotate, they stayed on the point, they took too much damage, and all of them still fell, even with the numerical advantage. So I hope to see a more cohesive Pointbreak coming out from on the south attack, and maybe we will, because they are playing GOATs. They look like they will be playing GOATs, and the name of the game for GOATs is cohesion.
Cohesion, absolutely. If you don't play as a team in GOATs, the point of the GOATs is you are a herd. You're no longer an individual trying to work together. You are one whole 3-tank 3-support combination, just trying to be one huge fist onto the point, and we'll see if Pointbreak can run this out. We have a Brigitte here from Lurax. On the other hand, V3.Fortuna gonna stick with this Wrecking Ball. Alive has been showing a pretty good showing rather on this Hamster.
That Alive is staying alive as Hammond all the way, and good use of mines as well. His mines has been consistently splitting the Pointbreak up into two, fragmenting the defense, fragmenting the attack, fragmenting whatever Pointbreak tries to do, and that is kudos to Alive's mine.
So John, I have a question for you. What is more optimal in Wrecking Ball settings? Is toggle better, or do you think hold is better? Have you actually seen that in the options? You can actually make the grappling hook toggle, so you just press it once instead of holding it down.
From what I've seen, I don't think that's a priority for many Hammond players, but I mean, I could be wrong. But the Hammond players in the teams I've coached, they generally just stick to the default option. So perhaps, I have no idea.
I don't know, dude. I struggle personally with using hold. toggles life, especially even for Reinhardt. You know, it all depends on player preference. And speaking of preference, it's gonna be Pointbreak now, preferring to go onto the right hand side, gonna go up the stairs instead. But oh, Sachok losing his barrier, and here comes V3.Fortuna, just trying to go for a smash and alive, keeping an eye onto the top of the stairs. But Pointbreak still holding strong for the time being.
And they will be pushing the point, and this is where good strength truly starts costing you. When you're holding point, you put a time limit on the enemy, and Sachok gets splashed, will get taken out by Galaxy. And that line just being so annoying on the point, contesting, pushing everyone like bowling pins to the side.
Honestly, a good slam right there, allowing the buy grenade to connect onto Sachok. Song2H though with the kill, and now we have the EMP from the side of V3.Fortuna, but Song2H getting 2 kills so far with the Zarya, 100 energy, very potent. The nano boosted D.Va going for the dive, but the Coalescence and the repair back there to keep Song2H topped up. The rally came out as well, and now Galaxy floating on to a new solar system. Luna now gonna drop down, but it's gonna be the waning moon instead of the waxing one, as the Zenyatta does fall. Pointbreak gain the capture for the time being.
V3.Fortuna, I mean, the defense had looked strong. They got Sachok, got the splash, but just couldn't make the defense stick. And so this comes back to the point of cohesion, because if you are playing on defense and you're trying to kill the enemy team and you have a numerical advantage, that doesn't necessarily mean you have won the game. You need to do the correct things. You need to aim the correct target. You need to snowball off that advantage.
That's where comms do come in, but now it's gonna be Lapin with the Dragon Blade, gets caught in. Soundbarrier as well there from Legend. The self-destruct is available here from both D.Vas. They're gonna launch it, and it's gonna be the kill going the way onto Nomad so far. Mintido with the pickoff onto Lurax with Diana. Just trying to keep alive, chopped up for the time being. The Pharah here for Fortuna side, just trying to stay alive against the D.Va of Nomad, but Lupin now dying as the Doomfist. Another kill going the way of the Pointbreak squad so far, and they're gonna lose the first stick. Pointbreak holding strong for the time being, and they're gonna keep this up with the Coalescence. Galaxy defense matrix is worthless against that Coalescence. The beam there doing so much damage. Lapin going for the rollout, gets taken down by the shield bush, but alive, dodging that Earth Shatter. Here comes Illusion now from the side of V3.Fortuna. Oh, a little too late there from Alive. Just way too late to get on to the point again.
I feel V3 had a counter comp, right? So when Pointbreak was playing goats into V3.Fortuna, I felt V3 had the better composition. They took out Sachok, they got the slam, but they just couldn't convert the win, much like how what happened in the second point. And I think one of the reasons is because they're just not following up properly. Well, I think for one, I think Alive could use Power Driver a lot more, because right now he's just bowling into the back lines of the goats. But I think Power Driver is the bread. The important core concept of why you play Hammond. So go for the Power Driver and call target and follow after the target to make sure the target goes down. Because right now I feel that there's a lot of fragmented targeting. So if you look at the HP bars of Pointbreak, 3 or 4 people's health bar are going down at the same time. And that can never happen if you're playing Hammond and DPS, because you need the follow-up from the Hammond, you need the follow-up from the DPS to target whoever Hammond is power drivering. So I think a little bit better, a stronger cohesion from the side of V3 will benefit them in this map.
Yeah, so Pointbreak actually showing such pedigree here on this 2CP map. I guess they actually know how to play in the moon. On the other hand, for some reason, V3.Fortuna, the guys, is named Luna, and he's actually having not really having best game so far. They have the space guys, they have Luna and Galaxy, but V3.Fortuna not really playing it up to par to their last 2 maps. We'll see if they can swing this back in their favor. Mintu will be sticking on to this Ana, trying to go for a few snipes. On the other hand, Zog2H with the Junkrat and going for the classic spam. Just looking for an opportunity to get the kill onto that Sombra. Sombra there getting the half
what are they doing? Are they waiting for Sombra to set up? I believe what V3 is doing is they're waiting for the Sombra to be in position before the Hammond actually goes in for the power driver.
Yeah, but they're taking way too long. Oh! It's gonna be a kill there onto Lyrax, and I agree there to you, John. They were, but on the other hand, Pointbreak was spamming the side to not allow the Sombra to actually walk on in, so Alive just took it in their own hands, and they get the kill there onto Lyrax. The first stick now being taken. V3.Fortuna taking control of the point, and Song2H gets a quick little dash to the face from Lapin. 2 kills going the way of Fortuna so far, and Sachok not really paying attention to the Genji behind him. It's gonna be V3.Fortuna getting those 6 in, and within a minute, You get the capture.
So
Good
this is-
call there. Yo.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, Daks. This kind of cohesion where you set up the Sombra on the right and then you dive, and as you dive, when the team starts to reset and fall back when you hit the grenade, that is perfect cohesion coming out from South V3. And if they can do the same thing, if they can replicate the same amount of coordination they had showed us in the first point, they will make sure that this is going to be an easy cap.
Yeah, we have the Brigitte now here from Lil Rax. They are gonna start the coats off with Salk 2H on the Sombra instead of Azaria. Gonna be a hack to go away, and we have the Nano Blade from Lapin going for the dash into Infamous. He gets the takedown. Soundwave there from Legend won't be enough. Lapin now with the kill onto 3 so far, and Nomad gets the mech, but using the mines to actually propel that self-destruct to try and get a kill or two, but no, it just gets rid of the mines instead. V3.Fortuna now getting the first stick. Here comes the Point Break squad onto our left-hand side. Self-destruct though, launched up. Sachok has to go for the bomb, for the shield rather. There's gonna be an EMP, and V3.Fortuna now with the 7 kills once again going in their side. Salk 2H with the Doomfist going for the rollout. Transcendence though to keep the supports alive. Good call there from Luna to allow Min to continue on with the pressure. Infamous gets a ball to the face. Here comes the Lucio just trying to contest, but Legend now will fall into the annals of history. It's gonna be V3.Fortuna with another capture. Round 3 there. Being completed.
Both team looks like really strong on the attack, right? Because most teams, in fact, most open div teams are much stronger on attack than on defense. Because training to perfect your defense is far harder with diminishing returns to perfect your defense. So most people, you look at the attack is like, whoa, so aggressive, so strong. But when you look at the defense, a lot messier, a lot less coordinated. So I think we might potentially see a 6-point here on the side of both teams. So 6-6 might be the score here. Anyway, Pointbreak will have 5 minutes 29 seconds to push to push 2 points. And looking at how Pointbreak did it the first time round, makes me think that it's very likely they get the 2-point hole. What do you think, Daks?
I feel like Pointbreak has enough time to make a mistake or two and still move it on to the next round. I would ask you something, John. In your experience as a coach, do you feel like 2CP puts too much pressure on the defense?
What do you mean? What do you mean by putting too much pressure on the defense?
For me, when you are on 2CP and you're on the defense, you just have this sinking feeling if you lose one clash, that's pretty much the end. That's your show. That's the show there for defense. You always have to have an advantage going into a fight, or else your defense won't hold. Unlike the other map types, Escort and Control are a little more chill about that. There are a little more chances there for the defensive squad.
I do like the contrast that this game mode brings about, because if you screw up once, you're dead, and I think that that shakes things up somewhat. You don't have many chances to screw up. Anyway, it will be a Doomfist. Lapin's gonna go in, actually takes out Legend and Lyrex as well. So will they be looking for the reset? It looks
You saw that? Lapin, perfect punch honestly to keep alive, alive, just not wanting to get that wrecking ball to take that too much damage and give Sachok the Earth Shatter charge, but Lapin gets charged up instead in the air. That is how you counter the combo there from the Doomfist, guys. You just smash that left shit on your Reinhardt and just hope for the best, and Sachok getting the kill.
Get the kill.
Yeah,
Lunar actually got a kill on Luna, where it looked like Vichy was trying to stagger Lyrex, but Lyrex actually turned around and got the kill on Luna. So interesting play there. Pointbreak's going to be staggering a little bit, but they do have spawn advantage, so they could just make their way slowly to the point, which is exactly what they're doing now.
Luna will take a while to actually get back into this fight. Lapin though, getting the nano boost right now, staying alive for the time being. Gonna be Mines and EMP committed here from the V3.Fortuna squad. Meteor Strike is available, and Lapin now going into the sky. Even though he's on the moon, there's gonna be still gravity. Getting the kill there onto Legend. Sachok though, swinging that hammer, and that's gonna be Lil Rax with the shield bash for the time being. Pointbreak though, losing out for the time being. Nomad now into the abyss of space. Sleep Dart there connecting onto Sachok, but just a little too late to get the self-destruct to his face. So Pointbreak now gonna go for the push in. V3.Fortuna not out of the fight yet.
So Pointbreak, with only 5 members of the team, will make sure they rotate to the point, and this is where Goats get strong, as I mentioned before. Once you're on the point, you put a time limit on the enemy team to engage, and engaging the Goats is one of the things you don't ever want to do. So Graf's gonna hit 3 members on the top, but Lunar Transcendence is gonna keep everyone alive, and Galax is just making sure everyone. Oh, the great shadow coming up from Sasha. Gets the charge, doesn't quite get a charge, books the ball to the side, and looks like V3 is winning the fight once again.
V3 though swinging this back in their favor. Pointbreak not even putting enough pressure onto this. Not getting too many kills with that Graviton Surge. So Sog2H gets a face full of nails. Lapin with another set of takedowns, and V3.Fortuna holding on to this point A defense really strong. Looks like they've finally woken up with this Doomfist pick.
They do have EMP and Doomfist ultimate for the subsequent fight, for the next fight. But of course, both sides have ultimate, so it's really anyone's game. I like to think that V3 should be going aggressively here, because with the EMP, there we go, the EMP coming out.
Sound barrier though in response from Legend. Just trying to keep everyone topped up. Gonna be mines. Here comes Pointbreak though going upstairs. And it's gonna be Lapin waiting on for that Coalescence to lose effect. But he gets a shield bash and a hammer to his name. Alive now swinging in. Trying to rotate onto the point. Sog going with Legend to stay onto this. Just keeping a foothold for the time being. Shock now from Nomad gets a kill onto Alive. Luna though up on top just tossing some bowls. But they're gonna give up the second 6 so easily here to the side of Pointbreak. They have the Transcendence available. Will they force this out? It's gonna be Luna now popping the Transcendence, keeping everyone alive. We have the rally, however, and Sachok putting people onto the fort, but gets a sleep dart in response. Lapin in disguise, Shock coming out onto the point. Will it lead to any kills? It gets a takedown onto the sleeping Reinhardt. What's the feeling of waking up to a tactical nuke? That's gonna be there for Sachok. Lil Rax now dashing off the point. It's still Pointbreak in this fight. They can still actually get into this, but we have mines now to put a chokehold onto Pointbreak's onslaught. And oh, Lyrax getting booped into this. Alive though, falling in the sky. Graviton Surge is available now for Sog2H, and finally Pointbreak taking it.
This is the problem when you're, there's a problem for the defending team. It's good for Pointbreak because you're holding your Graviton, winning the first fight, and you're bringing your Graviton into the second fight. And remember, Lunar actually used the Transcendence to try to bring back the first point. So this Graviton is going to be uncontested by any defensive ultimates that V3.Fortuna might have.
There's always the potential here of the defense Break eats, and it's gonna be an EMP to shut everyone down on the side of Pointbreak. Here comes V3.Fortuna. Looks like the tide's turning in their favor. Would you say fortune favoring the bold, favoring that Sombra play? V3.Fortuna pushing into the hydroponics lab.
Be that as it may, I don't think Pointbreak is that disappointed with the results because they managed to bring out the EMP, and Luna is not close to Transcendence because of how fast that the fight ended, right? So this time they will bring the Graviton once again, and Legend does have his sound barrier, so this will be the fight that they'll look out for.
So Pointbreak already taking a foothold onto point. Nano Boost there onto Alive. Graviton Surge onto the 2 attacks, but here comes Luna swooping into the fray. Lapin though taking down the 2 supports for the time being, and this Doomfist just causing so much chaos, getting the kills, doesn't even bother to get the kill there onto Sog2H, just turns around, give it to his teammates. V3.Fortuna now winning out in that fight, and the Graviton Surge used up by Pointbreak to no fruition.
That was insane play by Luna right there. So I didn't mention that Luna had only 60% outcharge on the trance. But if you look at where Luna was positioned, he was positioned on the second floor, on the high ground, and he was uncontested. So he got 40% outcharge in a mere 10 seconds, allowing him to bring the Transcendence to save his rest of the team from the Graviton.
The rally now coming out here from Lyrax, and they're gonna start things off with a self-destruct on defense as well as an EMP. Infamous and Lyrax now falling alive, bouncing Pointbreak into the air, and this might be the nail in the coffin here for Pointbreak. They will have half of a push into this next one. Luckily, they have Legend in this fight. They have the Lucian. They might move for the Desperation contest, but the mines just putting some pressure. It's gonna be an early sound barrier here from Legend, so Sachok gonna dash into the fray, but gets a sleep dart to his name. Can they actually make it? Sog now being speed boosted, and the the hack rather, onto Legend will put V3.Fortuna in a victory.
So one of the things if you run Goats, remember that your Diva is always the flanker, because Goats is very immobile, but Diva is the stipulated flanker. So if you don't go for Luna, if you don't go for the Zen, then you're gonna get the Zen's gonna farm his Transcendence off the Goats com HP bar, like off your health. So anyway, POTG coming out here from Lapin with his double break kill and the Swiss try to finish it up.
So that's
one thing I found amusing was how Sasha was slipping